There's people who just either can't be bothered to count the calories for whatever reason. There's a few things that you can work on, so I will explain them to you. And it still boils right down to the concept of you being conscious regarding your intake of food and energy and your expenditure. Make sure that your expenditure variables are hit, like you're always ensuring you're hitting your non-negotiable physical expenditure each day, so you've always got to be on top of that in order for you to just know that you are expending the amount of calories that you need to be doing in order for you to put your body in a deficit if you're not going to track your food intake as much. You often don't need that much of a substantial change in order for you to just ensure that you're consuming a few less calories each day in order to create your deficit. It could be just as simple as changing one factor throughout the staple meals that you have. Maybe it's a reduction in the portion size, changing for a smaller plate to ensure that you think you're still having a substantial meal when it's on a smaller plate. That way you've consciously reduced the portion sizing, which is going to, in effect, lessen the amount of calories because your quantity is less. Also, consider all of the areas of your day. Is there any time of the day where you don't quite need that substantial amount of a portion? That way you could slightly reduce it and not feel as restricted, and therefore you're not going to create any psychological problem, and you're going to be quite happy with your food choice and just rock with that. And that's just one breakfast example. The food that you reduce in portion size, it really depends how big an impact it's going to have on your calories. If you reduce vegetables, which are very low calorie and minimal, it doesn't really matter. There's not going to be a substantial change in calories. But maybe if you have 2 slices of toast that you didn't potentially need, maybe one was sufficient enough, you've just kind of shaved off 100 calories. That over the course of 7 days is 700 calories less. So that one tiny change, it's not going to have any kind of withdrawal feeling. You're still having your bread that you love, and it just creates a very, very sensible, logical way of reducing calories throughout the week so that you're ensuring you're keeping on top of your calorie intake and not having too much. And one other big point that I want to stress is that you should really pay attention to how your body feels and how it responds to food as well. If you're going too long between lunch and dinner, for example, and you feel like really hungry, it is completely worth fitting in like a snack. 100 calorie apple, for example, just to get you through until the next meal. Because if you go into the evening and feel like you've been starved or withdrawn for quite a long period of time, when you're having that meal, you're probably going to have some kind of behavioural problem, which means that you just force more calories upon yourself because you've restricted and felt withdrawn throughout the day. That way later on in the evening you've compensated and had a lot more calories than what you needed, as opposed to earlier on in the day just having that snack to make you feel fulfilled and satisfied, and so that in the evening you still act sensible. Can you see how this has a big impact on the calories that we could potentially be consuming? Avoid the problem first. Pay attention to your body. Now the final point I'll offer, if you're adamant on tracking calories, is to at least incorporate 3 protein sufficient meals throughout the day. Protein is the less calorific macronutrient compared to carbohydrates, but fat especially. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, but by the time you've digested it, it results in about 2.5 or 3 calories that you've actually consumed, because protein has a big thermic effect. It takes us quite a bit of energy to digest protein, and I talk about this in my blog. But protein is very beneficial for anyone, gym goer or non-gym goer, any goal. It is very beneficial in helping you complement your ability to manage a calorie deficit. And I explain this all in my blogs, but protein is so important to anyone and their goal. And all these adaptations, tweaks, it all depends on your starting point when you're wanting to lose fat. You may find if you incorporate a lot of help that I offer into your life, then it may have a very profound impact on your ability to achieve fat loss or your fitness goal. In the next video, I'll explain why I've put some meal ideas onto my website in order for you to take ideas from and to incorporate into your own life and nutritional structure. That way, I'm allowing you to be in charge and to make your own informed choices on what's best for your fitness goal, whether it be fat loss, because I'm giving you the skills and the knowledge in order to do that. That's why the ideas will always remain ideas, and you will be in charge.